What's up, lovers of whiskey and watchers of YouTube? I am the Malt activist, and today we have a head-to-head of epic proportions. In the left corner, we have the Ardbeg 19 Traigh Bhan Batch 1, and in the right corner, we have the Ardbeg 19 Traigh Bhan Batch 2. Who will reign supreme? Hello and welcome back. I am the Malt activist, and before we begin this video, let me tell you about our exclusive subscriber giveaway. We are so close, ladies and gentlemen, you have no idea. The second we hit 2,000 subscribers, hopefully today, tomorrow, as soon as we can, I am going to give away 4. That's right, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 bottles of the Arran Quarter Cask, which was my whiskey of the year 2021, to 4 very lucky subscribers. So, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, man, what the hell are you waiting for? Do it now, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon, and who knows, you might win yourself a bottle of free whiskey. How can anything be better than that? Okay, so what do we have here? We have first the Ardbeg Traigh Bhan, 19 years old. This is the Batch 1, which came out a few years ago, a couple of years ago, and it's part of their core range. That's right, we now have a permanent 19-year-old in the Ardbeg lineup, and that means a lot. That means we have good stocks, they're nice and matured, and we have enough barrels to choose from, and put a 19-year-old age statement. Put a 19-year-old in the permanent lineup. Whoa, I'm very happy about that. And then we had the Batch 2 that came out. We had the Batch 2 that came out. I think it was about a year later, if I'm not mistaken. And what do we know? What do we know about these 2 whiskeys? Well, we know they're both 19 years old. Can't go wrong with that. They're both non-chill filtered. Thank you, Ardbeg. They're both naturally colored. Thank you, Ardbeg. Excellent, good job. But more importantly, what are they? I think slightly low on the ABV. It's 46.2%, as is this one, the 46.2%. Now, you might ask, what's the difference between these 2 drams? Well, from what I know, is that the Batch 1 is a blend of first and refill bourbon barrels with Oloroso hogsheads. Is that right? Oh, it doesn't say hogshead, just Oloroso sherry casks. So maybe butts. I don't know. And the Batch 2 is essentially the same formula. However, literature suggests that this one, the Batch 2, has a lot more first fill bourbon barrels in it as compared to Batch 1. So I'm sure that makes a slight difference. And this is what we're going to find out today. So they both, I think they both, when they were released, clocked in at about roughly $300 odd. I think the Batch 2 was a little more expensive than that. I don't know how much it costs in different parts of the world, especially Canada. I've heard it's super, super expensive. So I can't comment on the price. I can only comment on the price that was on the website when it was released. So I believe the Batch 1 was about roughly $300-ish, and the Batch 2 slightly more expensive than that. Okay, let's read the labels. It has the tasting notes on it. So it says, but these are not our tasting notes, okay? These are not our tasting notes, just what it says on the label. It says smoky pineapple, chili chocolate, and aromatic wood smoke. See that? It says matured in American oak and Oloroso sherry cask by distillery manager Mickey Heads. Shout out to Mickey. Then there's a code. It says TB Traigh Bhan 1150300. So batch 1 distilled on 15th March 2000. 19 mh. So I'm gonna say 19 Moët Hennessy, maybe that makes sense. Then it says small batch release. Okay, 70 cl 46.2. So that's what we know. On the label for the batch 2, it says fresh lime, roasted tea leaves, and smoked pineapple. And it says matured in oak and Oloroso sherry cask, the same as the first one, however, more first fill bourbon here. And then it says 02 18/9/2000, so 18th September 2000 and 15th March 2000. So this is like 6 months older than the batch 1. And it says 20 JT. Oh, I'm so stupid! MH is not Moët Hennessy. It's Mickey Heads. I'm an idiot. I totally forgot. Mickey Heads approved. This is Mickey Heads approved. That's why it has MH on it. And I realized because this one says 20 JT, and that's Jackie Thomas. Jackie Thomas, my most favorite person at the distillery, who's now the chairperson, that's right, of the Ardbeg committee. She was head of the visitor center when I used to go there, and she's given me so many free drams. So Jackie, this video is for you because you are so special. So she's the one who chose these barrels, and Mickey is the one who chose for batch 1. I'm so stupid saying Moët Hennessy. I should do my research. Well, actually, I did do my research, but I literally just forgot about it. So, cool. Let's drink it, man. Non-chill filtered, natural color, the way we like our whiskeys. So that was batch 1. We're now gonna pour ourselves the batch 2. All right, so this is what they look like side by side. I don't think I can really tell the difference. Very, very similar in color. Okay, let's dig into batch 1 first, and then we'll go into batch 2, and then we can come back to batch 1 and see which one is better. I've tasted both. I don't remember really having a favorite, but I'm happy to give it a shot today. So there you go. How's that look? Looks nice, right? Yes, very creamy Ardbeg nose, but very distinctly Ardbeg. Okay, what do we have here? We have a slight hint of cinnamon, caramel, butter, smoke, red apple, pineapple, citrus, with a light hint of tobacco. Perfectly reasonable nose, very nice, quite subtle, slightly understated, not that usual Ardbeg fanfare of billowing peaty smoke in your face, but nice gentle wafting of the smoky, charry, sooty, ashy flavor profile. Definitely sweeter on the nose than you'd expect an Ardbeg to be. So, perfectly decent. I don't find anything really wrong with it. If you're a fan of Ardbeg, then you will definitely like this nose. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It is quintessentially Ardbeg. I think it has a softer edge to it compared to, let's say, the Ardbeg 10 or even the 8 for discussion. It's definitely softer, more creamier, more buttery edge to it on the nose. Like I said, quite understated, not as in your face as you would expect expect your Ardbegs to be. Okay, I guess there's nothing left for me to do but dance. Ooh, as much as it's understated on the nose, it's quite a powerhouse on the palate. Very big, bold flavors, which makes me think, hey man, maybe they did something right by, capping it at 46.2%. I'd love to have seen this at 50, 52, 54, but I think 46.2 does its job. I mean, the flavors are there. I love the feel, the viscosity of the spirit is nice. Thank you, non-chill filtration. Really get to taste the spirit here. Yeah, definitely much sweeter on the palate the second time around. I mean, this is a very adequate or decent, a good Ardbeg. I don't think it's absolutely phenomenal. I do like it very, very much, mind you, but I'm just comparing it to the other older Ardbeg stuff that I've had. But that I'm talking 70s, 80s distillate. So of course there's a massive difference. This is still a modern tasting Ardbeg. And at 19 years old, it's not even their oldest whiskey in the lineup. You have the 23 something, you have the 22, sorry, you have the 23, the 22 something, you have the 21, and you have this. And you can tell that this is still a very modern Ardbeg. It's more sprightly, it's more juicy, it's more citrusy, it's definitely more zingy. I feel old school Ardbegs, around this age, still tend to be more what the nose was offering, more creamy, more buttery, and more cream soda type. But this is quite, it feels young and sprightly, even though I know it's 19 years old. So definitely a new form of old Ardbeg. Perfectly drinkable. We will get to the price aspect of it in a bit, but as of now, I think this is a good quality whiskey, and yeah, I'm happy that Ardbeg is putting solid numbers on their bottles and making it part of the core range. So kudos to you, Ardbeg. Okay, now Traigh Bhan 19 batch 2. Really can't tell much of a difference. However, this one seems more red fruit inclined for some reason. It has many of the signature aromas of batch 1. However, I did write that it was a little more earthy, maybe hints of umami, fresh soil, honeycomb, salt, oak, with a hint of floral. Now, imagine the batch 1, but with slightly more nuanced flavors. I don't know if that makes the whiskey more sophisticated, but it's certainly a slightly different nose. Though honestly, I don't know if I could tell it apart in a blind tasting, and I'll be completely honest with you. Man, they smell identical. I mean, think about it. I mean, the recipe is the same, really. Slightly more first fill bourbon in batch 2, if you remember. But other than that, I mean, yeah, it's identical. It's absolutely identical. Let's see how it fares on the palate, which means there's nothing left for me to do but dance. Very interesting. So this is my first time having these two whiskeys side by side, and the palate is considerably different. And yes, I was right about that red fruit inclination. So this is more of a eucalyptus red berry lozenge, you know, that sort of flavor profile on the palate. Is definitely sweeter than batch one. I don't think it's as viscous or creamy or buttery as batch one. However, it still has a bite and a zing to it like the batch one. Yeah, definitely more honey in there. A lot more sweeter profiles. That's interesting. So I think the addition of, the increase in first fill bourbons in the formula gave it that slightly more honey and sweeter profile, which is not there in the first one, and which makes me think that the batch 2 is actually a tad bit more balanced than batch 1. Definitely that red licorice eucalyptus twang right at the end it differentiates itself from batch 1, and I find that really interesting, and I find that nuanced in, I think, a better way. That's batch 1. Yes, this one is more ashy. More buttery. Batch 1 is more traditional or signature Ardbeg, whereas batch 2 has this red fruit, wild berry, licorice, eucalyptus twang at the end. And I don't know how that happened. I'm guessing maybe because of the extra first fill bourbon barrels in here. I don't know for sure. Wow, so, man, they're both equally good. And I say equally because I think there's a very, very minute difference in taste. The nose seems, I mean, now this one, batch 2, seems a little more fruity than batch 1, but it's probably just my head. I don't think I'll be able to pick them out, blind in a lineup. But I do know that on that palate, there's a distinct difference if you're looking out for it. If I just gave it to you like that, I don't think you'd be able to tell, or I'll be able to tell. But because I'm looking out for that something different, I think I may have found it, and I think that's where the difference lies. And I think that's what makes the batch 2, in my opinion, a slightly better drinking experience. Is it a better whiskey overall? I think they're both more or less the same in terms of their quality as a whiskey. I think they're both a very good quality product. However, there's a certain nuance in batch 2 which I personally find a lot more appealing, and it gives me that little pause at the end where I'm like, what was that? And I think that's what makes it a better drinking experience. So, is it a better whiskey? No. But do I prefer it over batch 1 just purely from a, experience point of view? Yes. So, I mean, I could rate one whiskey worse than the other, but I don't think that's the case. I just think they're slightly different drinking experiences, both being equally good, if you know what I mean. Yeah, very lovely. I like it. So I think I prefer batch 2 over batch 1, which does not necessarily make it better. However, both very good quality whiskeys. And now the burning question of price, because I put out a little post yesterday saying, hey, I'm going to be reviewing the batch 1 versus batch 2. What do you think? And there was a remark that said, hey, you know, the Ardbeg 10 costs 40 euros, whereas this one costs 400 euros. So there's definitely a steep trajectory in terms of the difference in price. And I get that. Should it be that much more expensive? I don't know. I'll leave LVMH up to do their pricing. But you know, as long as people are buying, well, they're buying. You know, there's not a lot of this left on the ground, so I guess people buy, you know, so there's nothing I can say about that. But what I will say is, if you're not particular, unlike me where I am particular, for example, you know, I made this comment last time in one of my videos where I was like, yes, I know I can get 10 Ardbeg 10s for this price instead of this one whiskey, but it's not that whiskey, if you know what I'm saying. I want to drink the Ardbeg 19, and I should be allowed to drink the Ardbeg 19, you know. If you can buy it, you buy it and drink it. However, yes, having said that, the flavor profiles of the batch 1 compared to the Ardbeg 10, very similar. You know, similar ABVs, you know, first fill, refill, bourbon barrels. So I get it. I get it. This one might be, you know, might not be very easily discernible from the 10-year-old. And it's 10 times the price. And to that point, I say yes, that's a fair point to make, that if you're getting an Ardbeg 10 for 40 euros, but this one you're getting for 400 euros, then it's kind of a no-brainer if it's only whiskey that you want to drink. However, if it's the Ardbeg 19 Traigh Bhan that you want to drink, then I guess that's the price we have to pay. So again, you know, it's you know, price is a sticky subject. I don't want to get in, you know, too much into it. You know, what someone can afford easily is a luxury to some people, and so it's so subjective. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Is it price gouging? I don't know. I mean, if people are buying it, then is it really price gouging? Something will always be more expensive to some people versus other people. So again, like I said, it's quite subjective. And even though I said I don't want to comment on it, I think I've commented on it enough. So in conclusion, I prefer the batch 2. You might like the batch 1 because of, you know, its certain flavors. I like the batch 2 because it has a certain nuance, a twang, like I said, at the end, which sort of grabbed my attention and pulled me in. And so I like that about that whiskey. Regarding the price, I mean, yeah, if you can afford 400 euros for this whiskey, sure. It's a good drinking experience and whatever. But if you can't, then get the Ardbeg 10 and it'll serve you equally well, is all I can say. So, woo! We did it. We got to the end without hopefully any major controversies. And yeah, I have both whiskeys. I like them both. I might like one slightly better on some days, but I think overall I prefer the batch 2 over batch 1. Both equally fine whiskeys, and nothing really wrong with either one of them. Would I have changed anything? I would have liked to have seen them at a slightly higher strength, you know. But, you know, like I said, when it hit the palate, I thought 46.2 worked quite well. And so I don't know more than Bill Lumsden, so I will let him make those decisions, and I will just gladly drink what he produces. So there you have it. Thank you for joining me for this awesome head-to-head. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time.